back to the 90s!
Nick, 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 Nick.
Oh, here it goes.
I'm a tit, he's a tit, she's a tit, we're all today. I'm a tit, he's a tit, she's a tit, we're all today.
Greetings and salutations, and after some time away, we are back, and we are back with our top 10 favourites list. And we have got a great one to make a comeback with, our top 10 favourite MTV shows. MTV, it was a giant of a TV channel in the 80s, 90s, and especially the early 2000s. And you guys know me, I'm all about being positive, so I'm not going to be bad-mouthing any of the modern MTV shows. But yeah, when you see my top 10 favourite shows and then you compare them to modern shows like Teen Mom, Jersey Shore, Kardashians, I think you'll see MTV has kind of lost its way. But MTV holds a big spot in my heart. It's the channel that got me through high school and college, so let's show it some love. Top 10 favourite MTV shows. Let's get it.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
TRL, it was massive in America, hosted by Carson Daly. Every day it'd have stars like Britney, Christina, NSYNC. That isn't what I watched. What I watched started off as MTV Select, then became TRL UK. It was the show you would put on when you got in from school while you did your homework. A lot of big stars in the UK got their starts here, the likes of Natalie Cassidy, Vernon Kay. I remember June Salpong. Oh, I had such a crush on June Salpong. And the man, Richard Blackwood. People forget, Richard Blackwood was a massive deal here. I mean, he had his comedy tour, and then he had songs out. This show made Richard Blackwood. TRL UK, you'd have the likes of Bewitched, A1, Samantha Mumba, Billy Piper. Like I said, not the Britneys and Christinas of the world, but I love this. Am I the only person who actually remembers this show? I know everybody loves things like Top of the Pops, T4, CD UK. I can't be the only one who used to put this on while they did the homework. Come on, help me out.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
Let me start by saying I love Patrick Warburton, especially in The Tick in the early 2000s, but that isn't the version I'm talking about. I'm talking about that OG 1994 animated series of The Tick. It is a classic. I got me Townsend Coleman voicing The Tick. Now there's been, I think, 3 versions of The Tick that I've seen anyway, and this is without a doubt the funniest, darkest, most creative version of The Tick. I love this show so much.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
Singled Out is basically Blind Date with Jenny McCarthy and Carmen Electra instead of Cilla Black. For anybody who hasn't seen it, basically you'd have one really attractive girl, 50 pissed up frat boys, and basically you had to go through rounds to find the perfect match. If you didn't make it, Carmen Electra would shove you in a pool. It was sexy, raunchy, perfect late 90s TV.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
Now this is a show I should not have been watching at such a young age, but it was just so awesome. No one ever remembers the head. And when I try to explain it, it's about a guy called Jim who has a purple alien called Ray who lives inside his head. They look at me like I'm insane. It literally had like a dozen episodes, but it always stuck with me. I love this show. It was just boss.
Look at the size of that boy's head. Shh. I'm not kidding, it's like an orange on a toothpick.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
So far, yeah, the list has been a bit niche. Things like TRL UK, Singled Out, The Head. Not everybody would have seen them, but from this point on, this is MTV at its peak. And Pimp My Ride, goddamn, that show rocks the early 2000s. And no, I am not talking about the British version with Westwood. Don't nobody want to see a pimped out Fiat Panda or a Renault Laguna for Christ's sake. I'm talking about my boy Exhibit showing up in the hood, getting the keys to somebody's busted ass ride, and putting a fish tank and a GameCube up in that bitch. Every episode was fantastic. The amount of stuff Exhibit and the boys would put in these cars. I mean, a pool, an ice cream machine, a barbecue, a chocolate fountain. I mean, there was an episode where a medical student, they put a CAT scanner in his van. A CAT scanner. Do yourself a favour, go back and watch these. They are the epitome of early 2000s.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
Before the empire that is now known as the Kardashians, there was the Osbournes. They were the first family of reality TV. No celebrity had ever done this before, and in my opinion, no one's ever done it better. Everyone tuned in every week to see this car crash TV. They were so crude. No one understood a word Ozzy said. Sharon was batshit crazy, and we loved them, and we were all hooked. The Osbournes literally created their own TV genre, and every celebrity after that in the early 2000s had their own reality TV show. Paris Hilton, Hulk Hogan, Jessica Simpson, Flavor Flav, Anna Nicole Smith. Shit, Gene Simmons had his own show. But nobody did it better than the Osbournes. Jack, Kelly, Ozzy, Sharon, they are pop culture icons.
Who's pissed? Who's pissed on my fucking carpet?
I'm gonna give you what you need.
As a dad of 2 daughters now, I complain about my kids' telly, but when I look back on what we used to watch, things like Dirty Sanchez, Tom Green, Jackass, you wonder, how was this stuff ever allowed on TV? This was gross out, nasty, stupid, lowest common denominator telly you could possibly make, and I bloody loved it. These complete buffoons, Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Bam Margera, they were made stars of overnight. They had movies, computer games, celebrity partners. The early 2000s was literally the Wild West for TV. Anything goes, and Jackass is anything goes on steroids.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
The late 90s, early 2000s were really all about luxury and excess. All of a sudden, people were idolising these rich kids like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan rather than people like Olympians. MTV saw this and they capitalised. Along came Cribs, who had the most expensive watches, the biggest rims, the largest pool. For the first time, you got to see behind the keyhole. What was Mariah's shitter like? How big is Shaq's bed? You could see Tommy Lee's sex swing. I mean, nobody asked, but thanks, Tommy, I guess. I love this show. It is much watched TV, but to this day, I still don't understand why every single rapper had a Scarface poster and bottles of Cristal in the fridge. Every single one.
I'm gonna give you what you need.
I love shows like Cribs, Pimp My Ride, Osbournes, but the next two shows are the reasons I changed the channel from Nick and Cartoon Network as a kid. This was why I started watching MTV. Celebrity Deathmatch was so very nearly my number one. Growing up, I loved cartoons, I love wrestling. Boom, Celebrity Deathmatch. As a kid, there was nothing better than seeing these claymation versions of Dennis Rodman, Britney Spears, Vince McMahon, Marilyn Manson, Puff Daddy. They were battling it out with these ludicrous outcomes. It was just perfect TV for my young mind. And it wasn't just the celebrities. I love Mills Lane and Johnny Gomez and Nick Diamond, who of course is voiced by one of our friends of the channel, Chris Edgley. This show never gets old. If I've got a spare minute, I'm going on YouTube and I'm watching a 5-minute clip of Celebrity Deathmatch. It is still epic.
The almighty Bongholio!
Now, I am very passionate about animated shows and nostalgia, but there is only a handful of shows I would say I was obsessed with as a kid. And Beavis and Butthead, hell yeah, that was one of them. I had everything. The computer game, the trading cards, the VHS tapes, the t-shirts. To this day, Beavis and Butthead is the only movie I have ever snuck into in the cinema. I was 9 when Beavis and Butthead Do America came out, so me and my boy Sam, we paid for 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close, and then snuck into the screen that was showing Do America. I love everything about this show. The characters, the tone, the music videos in between the episodes that they would just talk over. It is a perfect show to me. And Beavis and Butthead is the reason this list is here. Like I said, I was 7, 8. I was only watching Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. Beavis and Butthead made me change the channel to MTV, which made me watch things like Celebrity Deathmatch, The Tick, The Head. And ever since then, I have loved MTV. I love the music, I love the shows. MTV is an icon. It belongs on the epitaph alongside Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. But am I right? Am I wrong? Like I said, this is top 10 favourites, guys. We don't do top 10 bests around here because it's just my opinion. What is yours? Would you have Beavis and Butthead that high? Am I missing out by still not watching MTV? I seriously just can't get into shows like Teen Mum, Catfish, whatever the hell else is on. I've not watched it since the 2000s. Let me know what I'm missing. And as ever, guys, thank you. I really appreciate all your help with the channel, all the likes, all the subscriptions and all that. But mostly, I appreciate how patient you are with us. I know I take a couple of months off. Real life gets in the way. I've got kids. I've got a job. You guys understand that. I make content when I can. Speaking of content, it's nearly Christmas. We're nearly in December. Let's get some Christmas lists out. I'm going to get back on the channel. I'm really going to try and dedicate some time to it. Thank you guys for all your help. I'll talk to you again soon. Peace out.
I'm Johnny Knoxville and I'm going to the moon.